To Brooke Brown's book signing of The Little Butterfly Girl. I know Brooke through the Improbable Theater Company, and she has that kind of spirit, as some of you may know, that when you meet her, she definitely can be, you know that she can be a friend for life. Has a positive attitude that shines through, and it shows through her writings and through her faith. And also, she encourages everyone to express themselves and to share their own stories. So as she gives her presentation, please allow yourselves to open up to the creativity inside of you and to think of the many ways that you can create your own stories and the ideas that you can come up with. Speaking of stories, Brooke has 13 story journals available for anyone who wants one. Again, there's only 13, and if you want to write down your ideas to create your own stories, she has those available. First come, first serve, but if you don't pick up a journal, she also has info packets available. So nobody has to go home empty-handed. Also, after her presentation, she will be giving a Q&A, so if you have any questions for Brooke, she will gladly answer them. And her friend Kim will help to clarify her answers for you. We also have Clinton, who's helping with our technical needs. And we have baked goods in the back, thanks to David and Sharon. And and if you would like your Brooke to have your information or be put on a mailing list, come and see me. I have a notebook that you can sign up for, give your information. And books are on $7. So, yeah. And without further ado, here is Brooke Brown.
Hi there and welcome. I am so excited to have all of you here. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on describing my background to you today. You can read the short version of my story in your little information packets. What I really want to do is talk to you about the importance of storytelling, especially when it comes to telling your own personal stories. Aside from the love and grace of God in heaven, there is nothing in the world more boundless than captivating stories. Everyone, from any walk of life, carries their own stories with them at all times. Think about the last conversation you had. My guess is many of you were telling a story. We all do it, every day, several times a day. Everyone at any age, and any condition or circumstance can appreciate a good story. Whether it's when we snag a few minutes with a friend to relay how the tiniest action altered our entire day, or explaining how one's past experiences makes them the best candidate for the job to a potential employer, we all want what we share to be interesting enough to make connections and reveal our most accurate portrait. It is the building of relationships through the exchange of our personal stories that allows us to achieve mutual understanding on such a deeper level that we gain the ability to end the perpetuation of unwarranted assumptions and instead initiate truly positive change in the society surrounding us. In this technology-driven age, we are constantly inundated with conflicting messages. On one hand, we are encouraged to capitalize on our own uniqueness. Speak up. Think outside the lines. And on the other hand, we're told we should blend in, just do our jobs and don't rock the boat. Well, as you can see, both things are a bit tricky for me. Being born with moderately severe cerebral palsy has made the majority of my muscles, including the ones used for speaking clearly, extremely obstinate. My limbs are largely unwilling to do what I ask, no matter how much I coax and plead. This obviously limits my mobility and, in turn, my capability to do just any old job I can find. Therein lies the reason creativity is essential to my survival. But, there again, that means I have to get people to stick around long enough after they hear my distorted voice to realize that, oh yeah, she is actually home with all the lights on. Even if they can read a description of my background, skills, and achievements, they often need to be given something more emotionally tangible in order to bridge the gap in understanding. This is where the blessing and power of storytelling comes in handy. I share my own stories in many various forms, each one as intensely personal as the next. Some of them are things like these two digital stories.
Other one first. Got it.
I am a lover of the Lord, of people and of words who writes, creates, dances and always dreams. Whenever I'm feeling lost or discouraged, I need to remind myself I'm rolling on a path of grace designed just for me. The Lord has gone before me to ensure that I can navigate over the uneven bricks. Each one is always set at an appointed time, with a specific purpose. The Bible I received with my high school diploma was made first and recalls my still firm foundation and the people who helped rebuild me after a destructive junior high experience. Kashmir the bear then came to stay and go with me to the hospital when I had my baclofen pump installed to calm my spastic muscles. I was a mature college student, knew the Lord would protect me, but still needed someone to hug in the dark moments. My recovery was hard-won, but I returned to my studies on schedule. College itself had its own struggles, but I persevered and received the Walter Cronkite School's highest honor. My book and senior project was published and set in place a year later. The pen fits next as a token of my mother's support and pride for my first book signing. My iPhone and its augmentative communication app is the blessed brick that has filled some of the widest gaps yet, allowing me to share my thoughts with a much broader world. However, I'd never moved forward without love and encouragement, especially not on stage. My dearest friend, man, the angel to point to the light in the end twilight crests to conjure many fond memories. His faith in me is often the brick to provide the last bit of oomph I need to keep walking and rolling into the spotlight.
Dude, did you hear that? What? Her voice. Sounds like some freaky gibberish thing. Is she drunk?
Drunk gibberish? Huh? That's new. Clever. But really? If I was drunk, I don't think I'd be enjoying my buzz at school.
I doubt it. I mean, look, she's in a wheelchair, man. It's probably a mental issue that comes from disease.
No. Actually, it's just a muscular issue. But thanks for playing.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with all that. I mean, look at her on the other end. I don't think I have the patience to handle her.
Nice attitude, buddy. You might actually catch on if you gave it a shot, but no worries. I'm rapidly losing my patience for you, too.
I agree. It would be hard. But come on, man. Keep it down.
Yes, I can hear you. In fact, my hearing is excellent, thank you. Perhaps one of you has a brain after all.
Okay, maybe, but how much can a handicapped person really comprehend? Look, she's reading a kid's fairy tale. How could she even be taking classes?
Whoa. Bite your tongue, Buster. First, I am a person with a disability. Second, the grim fairy tales are some of the most famous stories in history. Pretty good resource for another minor taking a creative writing course, don't you think? And I understand you perfectly, but I'm wondering how the heck you made it to college.
Given the scene we make, we'll probably never know. I'm too embarrassed to go find out, so you do your shit.
Alright. Jeez, I'm just saying.
I take your friend's advice there, bud. You know how people always say, don't judge a book by its cover.
also able to connect with those that watch me dance or do Pilates by explaining that while I have to rely on my power chair for my general mobility, I still enjoy being physically active and pushing the limits of my body. Not to mention that when you have cerebral palsy, regular exercise is your best shot at getting your muscles to cooperate at all on a daily basis. Similarly, anyone who reads my written work will quickly realize I have many of the same thought processes, emotions, desires and goals as any other 30-something able-bodied woman, even though my speech may be difficult to understand. Situations like these have often led me to other rewarding opportunities as well. For example, I landed a paid freelance writing assignment at Scottsdale Community College a couple years ago because I started corresponding with a lovely lady who wrote an article about the uniquely able dance class I was taking for fun at the time. Furthermore, I've utilized my life stories as anecdotes for inspiration and motivational speeches, and as supporting evidence for policy change and advocacy events. Performing on stage and writing true to life scenes with Improbable Theater Company also allows me to further illuminate my personality and experiences beyond my disability by expanding my artistic range. Our personal stories, however they come, are our most powerful tools. They will take us farther than any combination of facts and figures. That's why I feel the Lord has given me an intense desire to assist others in crafting theirs. So, along with continuing my own writings and other projects, I'm also launching a creative storytelling services business called Brooke's Butterfly Touch, wherein I will help people share their personal stories and experiences in whatever form they find most effective, such as PowerPoint slides, video or pictures with music, a script to be performed, or traditional written narrative. The possible formats for a story are really endless. The most important element in any story with the power to effect change is the voice behind it. That's the thing about our favorite stories. It's not the plots that we remember forever. It's the dynamic characters that touch souls and make permanent impressions in the mind. Could we work together to discover the power in your story? Thank you. And now, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Please don't be shy. I've heard some pretty weird ones in the past.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Brooke. Have you done any digital storytelling, actually putting the, beyond the two you've done here?
She said, yeah, she actually took a digital storytelling class at SCC a couple of years ago, and these were actually, that's where these came from. They were two reversing. She said if you look for her on YouTube, there's actually 3 more or 2 more or something like that. And Eric is actually in one of those as well. He let her interview him as her everyday hero for one of her assignments.
Raise
your hand, Eric.
Where did you take the digital storytelling class?
At Scottsdale Community College. And they keep telling her she can come back if she wants to. And I just might.
Thank you.
Is this your first one?
She said, it is
is my first book, but I'm working on a memoir right now, and as per requested by a lot of people, she's working on sequels to this one. So.
What inspired you to write it?
She said, I had a friend that was my age, you know, at first that said, why don't you try writing something for kids? I think you'd be awesome at it. So I said, I'm sorry, I just didn't take pictures of it. I knew I couldn't write like a typical teen story. I knew it had to have something of me in it as well. So. So I thought back to elementary school when I was a kid, and I used to spend a lot of my recesses in my own head spinning circles on the basketball court. And only because I'm thinking about this, so there's this little blonde girl. She said, hi, I've been waiting for you. I have stories to tell you. And the first story is this one. And that was that.
How did you go about getting it published once it was done?
Okay, wait. I missed the first part. I'm sorry. I wrote the first draft my last semester of college. By accident? There was a mishap in my schedule. So my favorite professor just said, come do a project with me. And he asked me so what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I'm a writer, I want to write. Wait. You can write your story, but I'm expecting you to do something with it. Okay, hold on. And so she sat on me until I went through all this and researched all my possible publishing options and, you know, whatever. And I finally found a Christian self-publishing place out of Florida, I think. she said, and yes, I know self-publishing catches a lot of flack, but it didn't matter to me, and there's a lot of places actually that you can do it yourself for free now. Just look up self-publishing.
How many drafts did you do to come up with that beautiful cover?
The cover was actually designed by the publisher. Oh. They gave her a form to fill out to kind of, tell them what she wanted, and she just said fairy tale-ish with butterflies, and that's what they came up with. I do have a revised version of it as well. That will be an ebook soon. With all new artwork. My artist was supposed to be here, but he didn't make it. If he does show up, I'll introduce him. And the revised version, the new story, just has a little bit more meat to it.
Are there, or will there be any audio versions for the visually impaired?
She said, I am working on that. Yes, she said, I did think about you, actually. But I have to figure out where to go to get all of that stuff. So she's working on it still. Thanks.
And I'm just wondering if you have an idea of when you'll be finished with your memoir. Nancy over here.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Well, now that this stuff, the presentation and everything is all over with, I'm going to get back to writing and dedicate it to it. But depends on how many of you decide you want to tell your stories, because when I'm not working on those, I'll be working on them.
So that makes sense. I do have like 5 jobs for you too, so that makes me hesitant. I'm really
No.
I'm really wanting to. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Jobs are good. Jobs are good. I need a job.
Okay.
Any other questions from anyone? Oh, look out.
Hi.
Eric.
If somebody decides they do want you to help them tell their story, what does that look like?
Okay, what was that word? Oh, my cards are on the table. He's like, good. Okay, so if you decide you want to tell your story, you can email her, call her, text her. She prefers to do it in person for obvious reasons, but we can do it online if that's what you need to do. Your first interview. Your first interview is basically me asking you what story you want to tell. Do you have an idea of how you want to tell it? And we can set up additional interviews depending on what media you want. Like if we need to film something, we can meet and film, or I will also have the lovely Lindsay available to take portraits. It all depends on you and the story you have to tell and how you want to tell it. And what you're using it for. I'll pass out the info. I'll do it when you're done. I'll pass out the info packets. And when your story's done, I will. There's the artist. She said she would introduce if you showed. Wait, Nick. Okay, start over on that one. I'm sorry. When your story is done, with your permission, with your picture and a description of your story, and my reflections on it, will be on my. Oh, we'll be on Brooke's butterfly blog. As an example for other people that might want to use the service. So please let me help you tell your stories. It's what I love to do.